Marlins tonight. Game 2. The Yankees beat the Fish last night 5-1. Tonight's game is part of the Home Run Challenge leading towards Father's Day tomorrow, raising money for prostate cancer research. For every home run, $18,000 will be raised. Here's the Yankees lineup. They're 38-29 now. They did pick up a game on the Red Sox with a win last night. Derek Jeter at shortstop. Johnny Damon tied for the American League lead in runs in left. Mark Teixeira at first. Jorge Posada hitting cleanup. Yeah, no Alex Rodriguez tonight. Robinson Cano swapped spots with Nick Swisher. Melky Cabrera followed by Angel Barreau, who had a big hit last night. And, of course, it's a National League game. No DH. A.J. Burnett hits ninth.
Well, with A.J. against J.J., we're going to see some lightning arms and guys who have electric stuff. Josh Johnson needs to just keep himself under control, keep that good two-seamer down. Every once in a while we see him go upstairs with 96 or 97 miles an hour. And after seeing the lineup last night, we know he has his work cut out for him. The Yankees swing the bat.
Derek Jeter jumped on the first pitch last night and hit about 420 feet. Goes after the first pitch fastball from J.J., and it's 0-1. That really set the tone last night. It was a double. Jeter would score on a single by Jorge Posada. The Yankees would get 3 runs in the second, add another in the third, and they were on their way to a 5-1 win. Slider from Johnson misses. Jeff Kellogg behind home plate calling balls and strikes. Tim Timmons, Mark Wegner, and Rob Drake. That's a knee-high strike.
One thing that we've seen from Josh Johnson, he gets his fastball away, but we have seen he's not afraid to come inside. And I know that's where a lot of pitchers try to pitch Jeter. Just like that. See, he spins out of there like that ball was way inside, and it was not way inside. It just missed the plate. He crowds the plate, he dives, so when a pitch just misses inside, it appears to him that it almost hit him.
Here's the 2-2. Right down the middle, Ugla behind the bag. On to first, Cantu scoops, 1 out.
Nicely done, Daniel Ugla, on a good play to get Jeter. Take a look at the defense brought to you by Heineken tonight. There is Chris Coughlin and Cody and Jeremy Hermita in the outfield. Bonifacio's in the lineup tonight at third. You just saw the nice play of Dan Ugla, and John Baker is behind the plate.
Johnny Damon having a very good year. 14 home runs already. Tied for the American League lead in runs scored, especially with the guys he's got behind him, Teixeira, and most nights Alex Rodriguez. J.J. misses inside. It's 1-1. Damon is tied with Marco Scutaro of the Blue Jays. 52 runs each.
He had a streak, Johnny Damon did, earlier this year, a 10-game hitting streak, where he scored a run and had an extra base hit in each of the 10 games.
Three and 1 to Damon. Damon always a very good on-base percentage guy. And he works a walk.
Tell you what, the pitches that missed, it didn't miss by much. So you have to draw from that if you're Josh Johnson and just realize that you're not all over the place. Just missed a little bit. Good job of trying to frame it, John Baker.
So Damon, who earlier in his career was much more of a stolen base threat. He swiped 5 bags. And Teixeira takes strike 1. Mark Teixeira was 2 for 5 last night. He's had a great start as a Yankee with his 55 RBIs and his 20 homers. Second in home runs. 4th in RBIs.
Yeah, you have another guy who has a good eye at the plate, 36 walks. You know, with guys like Jeter and Swisher and Teixeira and As you take a lot of pitches, they make pitchers work. And unfortunately, in this day and age of umpires with small strike zones, it makes for pitchers going 5 or 6 innings.
It's one thing Josh Johnson's been able to do in his last 5 starts is get extended into the 7th. His last start, he threw a complete game, his 2nd of the season. One and 2. Innings pitched in the National League. .98 miles an hour on that fastball. It's 2-2.
One of the few that he's tried to overthrow to Teixeira.
Adrenaline in this game can help you and it can hurt you. I think last night we saw it hurt young Sean West.
Yep, everything was up. Now, if you have Josh Johnson's fastball, occasionally you can get away with it if it's up, if it's 96 or 97. Sean West doesn't have that.
Count's full, and odds are that Damon will be on his way.
Mostly two-seam fastballs so far from Josh Johnson. I would say one of the game plans for the Yankees is to do what they're doing. Try to get deep into counts and get him out of there after 5 or 6 innings because they know the type of horse he is.
Damon's running, and Teixeira slaps it foul. Mark Teixeira has done something in his first 2.5 months as a Yankee that many guys who sign big contracts have been unable to do, and that's come in, put up huge numbers, not make any headlines off the field. There's really no circus around him. Swing and a miss. Safe at second.
That's too bad because a good throw would have had David. He did not get any kind of a jump. JJ blows the fastball by Teixeira and the throw sails. A throw on the money you can see would have had Johnny Damon. But he picks up the steal. And one last thought on Teixeira. He has enough teammates that'll take the focus away from him.
Jorge Posada. Posada last night was 2 for 4. And a fastball right down the middle opens his at bat. Yankee catcher, longtime Yankee catcher, 37 now. Arthroscopic surgery on his shoulder. After a season in which he caught in just 51 games.
And was able to sign a multi-year contract even though he was coming off that surgery.
Yeah, he signed through 2011 at $13 million a year. Broke his bat. Ugla has it. JJ gets through the first unscathed. Bring on AJ. Scoreless.
y es presentado por KFC.
Here come the Fish. The Marlins 3 under. Open with Chris Coughlin in left field. Emilio Bonifacio's at third base. Hanley Ramirez at shortstop. Jorge Cantu in the cleanup spot, followed by Dan Uggla. Hermida in right, Ross in center, John Baker behind the plate, and JJ in the 9 spot.
I think one of the interesting things in this matchup tonight, of course, A.J. Burnett underwent Tommy John surgery. Since the surgery, A.J. has been 57-44. Of course, we all know Josh Johnson 13-2 since his surgery. But an electric arm, he's been getting a tremendous amount of run support. A.J. Burnett has received over 7 runs per game in his starts this year, and that's why he's 5-3 with an ERA about 4.5.
Arkansas native. And he faces Chris Coughlin. Coughlin, Bonifacio, and Hanley. A cool 99 miles an hour.
Yeah, we have 2 guys touching the upper 90s, and it's an easy delivery from A.J. Burnett.
A.J. Burnett last year in Toronto had maybe his best year in the big leagues. 18-10, a 4.07 ERA, led the American League with 231 punch-outs. Nothing but fastballs to Coughlin.
You know, he's had a lot of pitching coaches over the years. They've told him different things, and in some way maybe some of the same things that Roy Halladay told him. But as a teammate of Halladay's in Toronto, it just clicked, and he learned quite a bit.
He was one of the pieces of Joe Girardi's rotation in the offseason that was brought along with C.C. Sabathia. Brian Cashman, the general manager, reeling those 2 big ones in. Coughlin smacks it into right, and it almost gets over the head of Swisher.
Tell you what, lately the Marlins have not hit into very good luck. They've hit some balls right at people. There's the Heineken defense with Damon, Melky Cabrera, and Swisher in the outfield. Angel Baroa, the third baseman. Mark Teixeira at first base. Jeter and Cano up the middle, and Posada behind the plate. Jeter with 3 gold gloves, Teixeira with a couple.
Here's Bonifacio now as he gets the start tonight at third base against the right-hander Burnett. Bonifacio, as has been well chronicled, has struggled at the plate. From this side of the plate, he's hitting just .211. He does walk more from this side of the plate, which is kind of the odd conundrum with him. .325 as a right-handed hitter, but just 1 walk. 17 walks, lefty, and he slaps that one. Baroa on to first. What were you saying about
more bad luck? I'm telling you, when you only score 6 runs in the last 4 games, you know you're not getting much luck. 2 balls stung. The one by Coughlin, this one by Bonifacio, and look at how far in the third baseman Angel Baroa is, and he's able to react, make that play, straighten up, and throw out Bonifacio by a lot. The good news, 2 good swings against A.J. Burnett.
So here's Hanley. He was 1 for 4 with a double last night. And he swings at a ball that was 2 feet outside.
Sitting on a fastball, but that just tells you he's not identifying. You can sit on that fastball and try to cheat to get to it, but there's a breaking ball not even close. Posada can't even catch it, and Hanley swung.
So why not throw another one?
He did. Hanley was a little more patient.
Burnett always a colorful character, whether it's with the tattoos or the piercings or the hair. That's in the left field, a base hit.
Well, he went with 3 straight breaking balls and finally got one in the hitting zone for Hanley Ramirez. Here's the 3rd straight curveball, and it stays in the middle of the plate. You saw Posada set up outside. So Hanley able to react and found a hole. How about that?
Weather tonight brought to you by Mikasuki. As always, come play our way. We even have moon phase tonight.
What is that?
Dragonfly.
Dragonfly. I think that same dragonfly was in the booth earlier tonight.
Standing room only, even for the Bugs. Cantu now.
Now Burnett is the type of guy, if you happen to guess correctly and go on that curveball, he's the kind of guy you can steal bases off of.
Hanley's running. Fastball taken, and the throw got it.
Wasn't the curveball, though.
Jorge Posada throws out Hanley Ramirez, and we are underway. In this one, and the crowd is here, a lively group, and certainly lots of Yankee fans here with Robinson Cano standing in, Nick Swisher and Melky Cabrera to follow. Cano breaks his bat and actually hits it out to right field, though he doesn't hit it out of the ballpark. We've seen that happen at the new Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, it has.
Speaking of new, you can lock in your seats for the new Marlins ballpark today. Purchase a current Marlins season ticket plan and reserve your spot. 1-877-MARLINS, the number to call. Make sure you don't miss out on premium seating in the new Marlins ballpark. Dimensions of the new Marlins ballpark are to be similar to this stadium, a pitcher-friendly place, but you never know until you open the doors and you start playing games. That's, I guess, the lesson of the new Yankee Stadium. Swisher takes a strike.
Yeah, you never know about those wind currents, how the temperature is going to affect things.
Nick Swisher had a hit. Well, who didn't have a hit last night, actually, for the Yankees? fact, every Yankee had a hit, including Andy Pettitte.
And the first 4 hitters had 2 hits. Each had 2. Andy Pettitte stroked one down the left field line for a double.
You know, last night we got to talking about current Yankees who might end up in Monument Park. I think Andy Pettitte may have a place out there as well. He buries that breaking ball in on Fisher. Our Geico quote has to do with the Yankee lineup last night, and it was from Sean West, who was overwhelmed by the Yankees. It's a great lineup, the best money can buy. $201 million the payroll for the Yankees, actually down from last year. They were at $209 million.
Wouldn't we all be able to put together a pretty good lineup for that?
Melky Cabrera takes down low. Melky Cabrera last night from the other side of the plate.
Well, as longtime radio voice John Sterling would say, the milkman delivered. And he did last night.
You were a former Yankee radio announcer.
I did. I worked 2 years, WABC Radio, 87 and 88, and on the Madison Square Garden network in 89.
Hank Greenwald was your partner. One of the great voices in baseball history. Ugla on to first. 8-pitch inning for Josh Johnson. Baseball's biggest stars go head-to-head for one spectacular night. In the summer's biggest event, Fox brings you every thrilling moment of the 2009 Major League Baseball All-Star Game. Coverage begins Tuesday, July 14th, live from St. Louis at 8 Eastern, only on Fox. Mark Teixeira, he and Kevin Youkilis in quite a race.
That's the advanced Swisher hairdo.
And that's the marlin head with a fin on it. And this would be Jorge Cantu, who was standing at the plate when Hanley was thrown out trying to steal. So he got a chance to see a few pitches from Burnett. Count 1-0. Cantu, Ugla, Hermida.
You always wonder as a hitter when that happens, when you go back out there, is he going to start you off the same? You're going to see the same sequence. A couple of fastballs that missed early on. He didn't see that many pitches. I think Hanley went on the first pitch fastball.
Cantu just discovered that his bat is broken. Joe Girardi, a short commute from his Parkland home. And of course surrounded, as he always is, everywhere he goes, by New York media, all wanting to know about Alex Rodriguez over the last 24 hours. Last night, Actually, yesterday afternoon is where the story starts. The original lineup had Rodriguez in it, and then Girardi announcing that the Yankees were going to give Alex a couple of days off. Sports Illustrated's John Heyman reporting today on SI.com that it was actually Brian Cashman and part of the Yankee brass that had a conference call with Alex and talked it over yesterday. The 2-1 pitch up the middle, and it's Cano who throws on over to first. And that conference call, in it, Alex admitted apparently to Cashman that he felt greatly fatigued, and it's shown in his performance at the plate. So the Yankees decided to sit him for 2 games.
Well, you have to think about it. He had radical hip surgery. He probably came back quicker than they thought, and he hadn't missed any games. But he's really been struggling. I think 3 for his last 34 offensively. So they figured a couple of days off would do him some good.
All kinds of conspiracy theories about why he's not playing as well. Uggla takes a knee-high strike. Daniel 0 for 3 in yesterday's ball game. He punched out twice. It's a good matchup. Burnett against Uggla. Good fastball hitter against one of the best fastballs around. And Uggla smacks it into center field and deep. Back goes Cabrera to the wall. Gone. His name is Dan Uggla.
You know, we love to see Daniel Uggla do well. I'm happy to see him do well on a stage that goes to New York because of his all-star appearance. He's made some terrific plays defensively here, and now he smokes one to straightaway center field.
And of course that raises another $18,000 for prostate cancer research. You can join us. 800-798-CURE.
13th home run that Burnett has allowed. He came with that heater out over the middle of the plate. Dan Uggla can catch up with anybody's heater.
This is his type of pitcher. So Uggla now, even though he's hitting right around 220, has got 13 homers and 42 RBIs. We're about a dozen games away from the halfway point in this season. So if you add Uggla's numbers up, I mean, if you double them right now, that's 26 homers and 84 RBIs. That's right around where he's been in his career.
Yeah, and he really hasn't gotten hot, had any kind of a sustained streak. Nasty hook there to get Jeremy Hermida.
First strikeout for Burnett. And here is Cody Ross. The Marlins have scored 2 runs now in this series, and they've come on solo homers. Ross hit one last night. It is cowbell night tonight, and of course cowbells will always have a special place in the heart of Cody Ross. Not because he wanted to be a rodeo clown growing up. His father was a cowboy. But because on cowbell night last year against Cincinnati, he hit a walk-off shot in the 9th inning against Francisco Cordero with the Marlins down in the game at the time that just lit this place alive.
So what you're saying is Cody Ross can never have enough cowbell.
Here's the 1-1. This was last year. Ross, right center field, and deep. Oh! He did it! Ball game! Ring those cowbells! 2-1 pitch is outside, and it's 3-1.
Gives you an idea that A.J. Burnett knows that Cody Ross can catch up with a fastball to throw in that 2-1 curveball.
3-1 coming. He knew he'd get the fastball, and he took a rip at it. $5 years, $82 million. The Yankees are hoping they get the A.J. Burnett of last year for that money. That one went back out faster than it came in.
And A.J. Burnett just happy it wasn't at his head. And again, a fastball. Dan Uggla and Cody Ross can catch up with that heat. And that's just another nice swing directly into center field.
John Baker now. Baker in the 8th spot. Last night, Ronnie Paulino got the start. Big sees a knee-high strike. Dan Uggla home run has the Fish on the board. And Burnett making sure Ross stays close. Cody has stolen 3 bases this year.
You mentioned, Rich, when A.J. Burnett became a Marlin, he came over in that Al Leiter deal. He came over, remember, with the little left-hander, Jesus Sanchez. He's also a part of that deal.
He, of course, was part of the World Championship team, but he did not pitch in the postseason. That was the year that he had arm surgery. Made 4 starts that year.
Yeah, Tommy John surgery in 03. But has come back, obviously, and it hasn't affected his velocity. Right now, he's having a little trouble, and the Marlins are being fairly patient getting that curveball over. If they can lay off that curveball, if he has trouble throwing it for strikes, then they know they're going to see that fastball a lot.
31 pitches for Burnett.
Yeah, he's actually been a better pitcher since Tommy John surgery. 13 games over 500, 57 and 44.
Baker rolls it up the middle. Cano on to Jeter. And the inning is over, but not before Dan Uggla hits one 410 feet for a 1-0 lead. Watts, our local finalists in People Magazine's All-Stars Among Us. And through June 24th, you can vote by going to foxsports.com and clicking on the link for All-Stars Among Us. The winner from each Major League city will be honored before the All-Star Game on July 14th, seen only on Fox. And this guy might be in St. Louis for that game. He continues to pitch the way he has. Josh Johnson is 6-1 this year. Remember last year, coming back from Tommy John surgery, just 11 months after the surgery, he was 7-1. So on a 13-2 ride since coming back last year. It's pretty impressive.
Well, he's had 4 starts this year where he's gone 7 or more innings. Left 2 of those starts in a tie ball game, left 2 of those starts with a lead, and he got no decisions in those.
And he has a National League East manager who will be skippering the All-Star team, Charlie Manuel. And a former Yankee manager who will be on that staff, Joe Torre. Tony La Russa will be there as well. Flip on over to first, and Baroa is out. In the American League, interesting that Joe Madden, and it's a typical Joe Madden move. Classy, well thought out. Naming his all-star coaches, Trey Hillman of Kansas City, Don Wakamatsu of Seattle. Guys that he has known and admired that have come up through the ranks.
Longtime minor league managers. So obviously coaches from his staff, Tampa Bay, and then naming those other 2.
AJ facing JJ.
8 out of 9 first pitch strikes for Josh Johnson.
AJ lost his bat and gets a hit.
Remember all the rockets the Marlins have hit, and there's a bloop single by AJ Burnett. Well, he sawed off Baroa and he sawed off AJ Burnett. But somehow it finds a little spot just out of the reach of Dan Uggla.
Exit stage right. Johnson misses down low to Jeter. He bounced out to Uggla back in the first.
For the Yankee pitchers swinging the bat all right in this series. Pettit's a double last night. AJ with a bloop single.
Up the middle. Hanley. Cantu. And a double play finishes the third. Josh Johnson and the Marlins on top 1-0.
That first time ever, the only team he's never seen before. So how do you go against a guy you've never seen? Well, hitting coach Jim Presley says a big thing for him, and he's never seen him except on tape, is that breaking ball. If he's not commanding the breaking balls we've seen here, the Marlins can catch up with that fastball, and they could sit on it with raw power and, as he likes to say, barrel him up and get some good wood on it, and that's what's happened. If AJ goes the other way, it could be more difficult. But, you know, guys, AJ's going to be a stubborn guy in the mound, and he said that's one thing he told me that he learned from his early Marlin days when he was trying to throw it 100 miles an hour every time out there. And he thinks he might not have been injured if he had a different approach. He has learned a little bit. He's got a little bit of different mental framework with all this experience now. We'll see how that plays out. But I'll tell you one thing. He told us yesterday he can't wait to get on that mound. Guys always love the power pitchers, the tall mound here at Landshark Stadium.
That's a great matchup of righties. You've got Josh Johnson, A.J. Burnett, the Yankees, and the Marlins. It was the Yankees who jumped out to the lead in last night's ball game. Dan Uggla has provided this man with a one-run lead. And Josh will stand in. A home run. Of course, it was a three-run shot. Didn't have to hit in his last start. That was up in Toronto, which was home to A.J. Burnett for the last 3 years. And Burnett was a good Blue Jay. Successful run up there. He was 38 and 26 all told.
And all J.J. did in Toronto without having to hit was pitch a complete game in that 11-3 win over the Blue Jays.
Last time he was in this ballpark and at the plate, Splitow, a three-run shot against the Brewers.
Yeah, against right-hander Dave Bush.
And a swing and a miss and a nasty breaking ball from Burnett. Brings up the top of the order. This series concludes tomorrow with a Family Sunday start at 5:05. First 5,000 dads get a Marlins t-shirt courtesy of Metro PCS. Kids can run the bases in the Diamond Dash. 1-877-MARLINS. The tickets still available for tomorrow, a 5:05 start. Coughlin absolutely hammered a ball in the first. A line shot that Nick Swisher came charging in on and almost jumped over his head. So he's 0 for 1. An entertaining dialogue, actually almost a monologue from Coughlin to begin our night. He swung. Rob Drake said that's a swing.
All of a sudden, A.J. Burnett feeling a little more comfortable with his curveball. Struck out Josh Johnson on the curve and 2 straight curveballs to Chris Coughlin. Oh, I don't know about that.
Down he goes. So Burnett opens the third with a couple of strikeouts. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Marlins may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Marlins. Bonifacio tried to slap one by Baroa back in the first. Baroa made a nice backhanded stop and threw across the diamond to get him. It's been a Wes Helms platoon lately. Helms against the lefties, Bonifacio against the righties. Be interesting to see now that the Marlins are back at home playing National League games, how Freddie uses Bonifacio.
Of course, last night against the lefty, we saw Wes Helms. And for me, until Bonifacio shows that he can consistently get on base, Freddie's going to have to go with some kind of platoon, because right now his on base percentage is in the 280s.
And Burnett punches out the side. 9 pitches, all strikes. Thank you very much.
I am, everybody. I reminded everybody in stretch. Dude, I don't like this thing already. I feel totally uncomfortable.
Hey, when you close it out, you gotta go. Back to you, Rich and Tommy.
Brett Carroll helping out. Johnny Damon lines one foul. Damon to Shera Posada against Josh Johnson. Johnson becoming one of the elite pitchers in the National League. His ERA at 2.76 and dropping. This is outside with that running fastball.
Yeah, he stays on top of his pitches so well, and that's how he gets that good sink.
He's 5th in the National League in earned run average. Damon hooks that one foul
on a changeup. That's his 3rd pitch. He'll use it maybe 10, 15 times a game. Maybe not even that many.
But certainly 2nd time through the order, he's going to feature a little something different, especially with this lineup.
Again, back-to-back changeups.
JJ will toss to first in time. Cue the duck. Everybody loves the duck. Last Yankee pitcher to lead the American League in wins.
Well, let's see. We saw Andy Pettit last night. He certainly would be a candidate.
Clemens.
Roger Clemens, of course. I tell you, a guy we have to throw in the mix.
Mike Mussina?
Well, yeah, there's another one. He wasn't the one I was thinking of. One we have to throw in the mix who's been a disappointment this year, Chin-Ming Wong. I like the Mussina one, though.
Ground ball out to Ugla. Teixeira is 0 for 2. When the two-seamer's working, you'll see lots of ground balls. And JJ already has given Ugla his share out there.
8 ground ball outs. And if you remember, Josh Johnson came out. I mean, he was firing. Now he's in a nice rhythm, and he's really pitching. Seen some change-ups. Two-seamers stayed down.
If you look at just wins, JJ is not close to the top. Chad Billingsley, Matt Cain, and how about Jason Marquis getting a win last night? They all have 9 to lead the National League. But Josh is after his 7th.
Well, at least Rob Drake is consistent, because you know what? I didn't think Posada went, and I didn't think Chris Coughlin went, but they both have been called strikes.
Popped him up, Bonifacio. Josh Johnson. Nicely done. 1-0 Fish. Official sponsor of the timeout by Honda, South Florida. Visit your South Florida Honda dealers online at sfhondadealers.com. And by Heineken, give yourself a good name. Gorgeous South Florida night tonight. And a good ball game going on. 1-0. Marlins on top. A.J. Burnett back to work. Hanley Ramirez, Jorge Cantu, and then Dan Uggla. And it's an Uggla home run that is the difference in this ball game.
And all of a sudden, the Marlins hitters have to file away that A.J. Burnett has found the curveball.
Hanley singled and then was caught stealing to finish the first. Yeah, that's when A.J. Burnett becomes ferocious. Is when he can throw the breaking ball consistently for strikes. And it will be interesting to see in his 5 years in New York, if he stays a Yankee during the course of that contract, if he's able to, as he gets older, he's 32 now, say he gets 35, 36, he's not throwing as hard. If he can find some touch, if he can develop a third pitch, a changeup.
Well, that's the main thing that he was able to work on and develop in Toronto. And not necessarily that third pitch, but just the fact that he didn't have to throw 98 miles an hour. He could pitch 92, 93, moving the ball around, good control, and using that curveball.
This is outside, and it's 3-1 to him. Hanley, a double last night, a couple hits in this series.
Let's see if Hanley sits on that fastball here. 3-1.
Got it. Lines it. Center. Base hit. All right, back in the third inning, A.J. Burnett tying a major league record held by many.
Well, 9 pitches. There's the fastball, but it all started, I thought, with this next pitch. The third pitch, a curveball that struck out Josh Johnson. Another curve Strike one to Coghlan. Another curve and another curveball. So he found the curveball during that inning. A fastball to Bonifacio, 2 more curveballs, and Bonifacio was gone. 9 pitches, he struck out the side.
All right, Hanley was thrown out trying to steal a bag in the first. It was a bang-bang play. Cantu takes a strike. Jorge Cantu, the Marlins RBI leader, but only by 1 now, with Uggla at 42, Cantu at 43. There goes Hanley. Cantu fouls it. Better jump.
And a better pitch. That time he got the curveball to go on. But if there was not a strike on Jorge Cantu, maybe he takes that pitch. But the fact that he already had 1 strike on him, he had to go ahead and swing, and he fouled it off. A lot of times a hitter, if it's early in the count and he doesn't have any strikes on him, if he sees, especially a right-handed hitter, gets a good view of that runner, if he sees the runner get a good jump, a smart hitter will take the pitch, allowing him to steal the base.
Tough to take that strike now with a guy like Burnett, as well as he's throwing. Hanley's MO as a base runner / base stealer. Not a big lead. He does not like to dive back with that shoulder that has been a problem for him. Cantu went around. A lot of check swings tonight on both sides. Let's bring back the duck. Last Yankee to lead the American League in wins.
It's got to be one of those 4 names that we tossed out there. Chin-Ming Wong actually had back-to-back 19-win seasons, but has been a huge disappointment this year with an ERA of 12.30 and an 0-5 record.
Uggla with a big cut. And this was the fastball he got a hold of.
So far, the only run of this ball game with 2 right-handers dealing. A.J. Burnett has induced 9 swings and misses. That's how technical our crack staff is tonight.
They're all they're cracked up to be. Posada giving the thumb.
You were talking about Hanley not feeling comfortable diving back because of that shoulder, and I think that hinders his base stealing ability. He just can't get that maximum lead, the lead that you'd like to see a base stealer get. I mean, he still has the speed and the quickness.
Uggla saw a breaking ball, and it's 1-1. Yeah, Hanley is almost a base stealer on rhythm, because when you don't have the big, when you don't have that big lead, you have to almost get a walking lead and anticipate if you're going to get a good jump. He's running and he stumbles, but gets back.
At least he was alert enough to realize It was a little bit of a stumble. Let's see where it is. Has a little trouble with his traction once he started, and he realized because of that he wasn't going to get to second base very well, so he headed back to first.
That was a good illustration of what we were talking about. Always in movement, constant movement. You know, some base stealers get the maximum lead and are perfectly still. Hanley is just kind of back and forth, almost like a car coming up to a red light, not coming to a complete stop.
I know, I do that all the time.
One and two to Ugly. It's going to the screen. Burnett slipped and is doubled over on the mound. Now he looks like he's okay. I don't know if he was just frustrated, but he bent over after delivering this pitch.
Well, it's a fastball, and it gets away. He really yanks it. Gets away from him. Posada can't make the play. And there was a little bit of a slip. Look at gimping down to second base is Hanley Ramirez.
It's a wild pitch. And it's 2-2. Ugly went after it. A check swing fest.
A lot of check swings because he uses the fastball, so you have to get yourself geared up for that. And then all of a sudden the breaking ball has been better for him, and it's a tough one to lay off of. You know, and seeing Burnett on that wild pitch, was reading the other day where the Cardinals right-hander Joel Pinheiro threw a pitch and then collapsed on the mound, and didn't know exactly what happened, but you were telling me yesterday it was dehydration.
Yeah, dehydration. Hot series in the Midwest. Hermida now, he struck out. Taps one to the left side. Baroa cuts it off, throws high, and Hermida's in. Just enough time to get across the bag before Teixeira came back down on it.
Of course, Baroa playing in the place of Alex Rodriguez. Unloads, and once Teixeira goes off the bag, by the time he comes down, Hermida's able to beat the throw. Hanley still not running 100% as he gets over to third base. We told you it's been a pretty good defensive infield. A-Rod's made 4 errors, Jeter's made 3, Cano's made 3, and Teixeira none. And he's helped a lot of the infield, as we talked about that last night.
Yes, he has. So it's Cody. He singled in the second.
Boy, with that approach and swing, you get the feeling Cody was sitting on that curveball first pitch because he jumped on it.
0-1. Once again, the National League East and the American League East all tangled up tonight. The Marlins taking on the Yankees here. Rays and Mets in New York. And the Rays have defeated the Mets. That's a final now, 3-1. So the Mets go down.
That's Santana. The loss, I believe.
Yes, it is. He's 8-5. The Phillies, still the division leader, but still not playing well, are home again where they really struggle. And they're trailing 1-0 to Baltimore in the 5th. The Phillies lead at 2 in the East. Safe with the Mets losing tonight. Atlanta and Boston scoreless in the bottom of the 5th. Both the Marlins and the Yankees interested in that score.
Good pitching matchup in that one at Fenway tonight.
A.J. Burnett, fist pump, fastball. Take that. Marlins leave a couple. Good ball game. 1-0.
Y es presentado por KFC.
Cookie and Raul, our announcers tonight. Hi, guys.
Tommy Hutton, huh?
Hi, Richie, Tommy. How you guys doing?
Yeah, Cookie, this kind of reminds you of a Marichal Jim Bunning matchup. A couple of right-handers that are dealing.
I'll tell you, those two guys are really something tonight, both of them.
It's fun to watch. And,
absolutely. I think it's even more better with 40-some thousand people here. I think this is great.
Little jolt of electricity here.
Yes, sir. The adrenaline is really flowing tonight.
Hey, you guys, did you notice that the last time that there was an immaculate inning, it happened to be almost a year ago to this day, and also against the Marlins?
You mean the 9-pitch, 3-strikeout inning?
Yes, sir. Felix Hernandez on the 17th of June last year
up
against
in Seattle.
The Marlins, yeah. He struck out Hermida, Cantu, and Jacobs in the 4th inning, I believe.
Immaculate inning.
Del 1 al 3, sacan out a Cano.
I want to hear that in Espanol.
That's gonna.
El inning inmaculado.
Nice.
Sure is.
All right, guys, have a good show.
You too, guys.
The other thing that JJ's really been able to do, the first inning, if you remember, he threw 20 pitches. Second inning, 8 pitches. Third inning, 8 pitches. Fourth inning, 11 pitches. So against a team that's very patient at the plate, he's been able to bring that pitch count down.
Here's Nick Swisher, one of the more patient Yankees. Johnson snaps off a breaking ball. JJ has become the ace of this staff. Although remember, he did not make the start on opening day. That was Ricky Nolasco, and well earned.
Yeah, Ricky earned that because of his 15 wins last year.
High chopper, Hanley hustling. Another ground ball out. Our Hyundai Road Ahead. High definition tomorrow. We start things at 4:30 with Marlins Live. 3 games against the Orioles. The big fantasy auction brought to you by Tommy Bahama is Tuesday And then Friday, it's over to St. Pete. 3 games with the Rays.
Looking forward to that Tuesday night. There's always speaking of electricity, there's always a lot of electricity in our area where we'll be broadcasting the game.
Especially when you open up the phone lines and you get those items, the first bids coming in. Melky Cabrera, he runs up, takes a fastball for a strike, and it's 1-1. He bounced out to Uggla in the second.
You know, you watch Josh Johnson. I was thinking about this today, and the way he's pitched this year, he was good his rookie season in 06 when he was 12-7, but he's a much more refined pitcher now. He's much better now.
Of course, his manager from that rookie season is here tonight. Joe Girardi was the manager of the year in 06. And he comes back. First regular season appearance. The Yankees, of course, were here in an exhibition game last year.
There were always questions surrounding that game that Josh had when he sat out, rain delay, came back in the game, and eventually would go ahead and have Tommy John surgery. I never thought that was an issue. I never had a problem with him coming back and pitching. We see John Baker upset he didn't hang on. And I know Joe Girardi took a lot of heat for that, too. Boy, he's got some good bite with that slider.
Tapper is foul.
Former Major League infielder Mick Kelleher making that play, first base coach for the Yankees. There's Mick. Been in the Yankee organization about 12, 13 years.
Saw Johnson's reaction, missing outside. Count full now, 3-2. This is fun to watch. Josh Johnson, A.J. Burnett, big house, and a 1-0 lead for the fifth. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. Rich Waltz, Tommy Hutton, Craig Minervini from Landshark Stadium, 2-3-0, where the Marlins lead the Yankees. Jeff Conine with us tonight as well. John Baker with Josh Johnson and Chris Coughlin.
Yeah, Jeff Conine will be the first to tell you tonight's not a fun night for hitters. A.J. Burnett has 7 strikeouts, but the last 6 outs he's recorded have been strikeouts. Josh Johnson, 10 ground ball outs and 3 strikeouts.
Baker pulls it on over to Teixeira. So an out to open up this 5th inning, and here is Josh Johnson.
And Robinson Cano made Josh Johnson work. Remember, we told you that pitch count was real good. He threw 17 pitches that last inning, but Josh had to throw 10 to retire Cano.
So these guys are just about even in pitches.
Or Cabrera, excuse me.
These guys are just about even. 64 pitches for Josh, and that was 61 for Burnett. You got the battle of Oklahoma against Arkansas as well. Josh Johnson out of Jenks, Oklahoma, and then Burnett out of Central Arkansas.
Could be a bowl game some way.
Josh fouls that one off. Marlins facing quality arms certainly in this series.
Well, they faced quality arms from the beginning of June. With slew of Cy Young award winners they faced. Randy Johnson, Lincecum, Chris Carpenter, Roy Halladay,
Barry Zito.
Zito.
They get CC Sabathia tomorrow night, a 5 o'clock start.
Yeah, believe it or not, a guy who has never won a Cy Young, but certainly is capable of. There's big CC. What a run he had with the Brewers.
Burnett dusts off JJ. 8 strikeouts for AJ. Fish Friday on the 3rd of July. The Marlins will take on the Pirates on a 6:10 start on that Friday. Grab a CBS 4 for $54 pack and play Billy Bingo for your chance to win an authentic batting helmet autographed by Jorge Cantu.
A hippie hop a hot dog. Say that a few times. A.J. Burnett, by the way, has struck out 8. He's done that 3 times this year. His season high is 9. And his career high when he was with the Marlins back in 05, 14.
Fastball misses up to Coughlin. Well, his no-hitter, we saw it at the outset of our telecast, was a wild ride. I mean, 9 walks, 7 strikeouts, a hit batter.
Yeah, the amazing thing about that, I worked that game with Dave O'Brien at about the 5th or 6th inning. We looked at each other and realized he had a no-hitter. Because you didn't know that because there were base runners all the time.
Well, one of his most famous pitches as a Marlin wasn't that last out. It was this. It's just like Nuke LaLoosh hitting the ball.
Yeah, obviously he was going after Billy, but he missed Billy and got the side window with a pickup. Ah, yes, the younger, wilder days of A.J. Burnett. He is a much more controlled and a much better pitcher since that no-hitter.
And, of course, 4 as a Marlin. His was the 3rd. Coughlin hits it well. Jeter. A.J. Burnett goes 1, 2, 3 through the fish in the 5th. To the 6th we go. We try to find Craig Minervini. Craig?
Way up here, Rich. I don't think there's any threat of a foul ball up here, but these fans are not here for that reason. From Davie and Pembroke Pines, what's the view like up here? This is Mitch over here, his buddy Mike and some friends.
Wish I would have brought the binoculars, that's for sure.
You like it up here, though, you said?
I like it. I like it. The air's thinner. Nice breeze. Put out a few nosebleeds, but other than that, it's not too bad.
A little light on the oxygen. Now, Mike, you said your seats are actually lower, but you like it up here? Huh?
Yes, there's much better breeze up here. It's very warm down here. You're sweating. This is nice.
These guys are good Marlin fans, too. What do you think so far? I know you're excited about the team there?
It's an awesome team. I mean, it's just, I love it being here at a Marlins game. I mean, it's the best thing. Nice weather, watching a nice game, and being with friends. That's it.
That's what baseball's all about. I tell you what, guys, the view is not bad from here either. The only thing you miss is just down the line here in left field. Other than that, you got a pretty good view of the game, and certainly the great view of this big crowd here tonight. Back to you. Took me 2 innings, by the way, to catch my breath.
All right, a great pitcher's duel. Josh Johnson, A.J. Burnett. Angel Baroa's at the plate. Josh clips the bat. It's 2-2. Baroa playing third. Everybody expects to see Alex Rodriguez tomorrow night after his 2-day sabbatical.
So we showed you CC Sabathia. Sabathia against Chris Bolstad. And tomorrow's 5 o'clock game.
Bonifacio. A.J. Burnett has the only hit of the night for the Yankees, and it was an emergency excuse me swing. His bat ended up in the seats. The ball ended up in shallow right field.
Usually when you see a bat end up that far into the seats, it's a swing and miss, not a base hit. A.J. Burnett spending time in the National League, of course, with the Marlins. 3 career home runs.
Yeah, I'm sure in Toronto he missed being able to swing the stick. out in front now, 1-2. Sixth inning, if you just joined us, Dan Uggla hit one 410 feet to straightaway center on a first pitch fastball from Burnett. And that's it. Josh Johnson and Burnett have both been overpowering. Burnett with the strikeout, Johnson with the ground ball out. 11 ground ball outs for JJ. Eight strikeouts for Burnett. And Burnett hits one out to center. Ross is over, and there he makes the catch. Before the ballgame tonight and before the ballgame last night in the stadium, they played the highlight tape that Major League Baseball produced from the 2003 World Series. And of course, Derek Jeter was there. All of the great Yankees. The Marlins, the upstart team, won it in 6 games. This game is very similar to the Josh Beckett, Andy Pettitte start in Game 6. They were both throwing and throwing well.
Derek Jeter, by the way, in that World Series, 9 for 26, a 346 average, and in his career, a 302 lifetime hitter in World Series play.
Major League home run leaders, our Firestone leaderboard by team. Jeter made an error in Game 6 that helped the Marlins tack on an additional run in the 6th inning. You know, Beckett was the hero. Lost in that game, watching those highlights, was the slide of Alex Gonzalez to score the first run of that game. Fastball threw it by him. JJ. Goodness. Josh Johnson has set down the game.
Last night I talked to Rachel, and she said, hey, you know how you always told me about that Brett Carroll guy, how you really like him? Why did he announce you as Chris, dude, where's my car, Coughlin?
He's leading off, batting left field. Chris, dude, where's my car, Coughlin.
So who told you, dudes, where's my car? Is it Bake? You don't want to tell me? Yeah, I don't care.
Well, in a few months when Coughlin does the lineup, he'll get a chance to get back at Carroll.
He can get back at him. Dude, where's my car?
Dude, where's the base runners in this one? A.J. Burnett and Josh Johnson have been outstanding. Burnett goes to work with 8 strikeouts. Here in the 6th, Bonifacio, Hanley, Cantu. And a breaking ball from Burnett is outside.
Boy, you'd love to see Bonifacio start this inning off and get on base and create a little excitement to get some insurance.
That one clipped the home plate umpire, Jeff Kellogg.
Pretty good game tonight. He's been consistent behind the plate, Jeff Kellogg.
It's a skill that you hope a guy like Bonifacio can learn. You look at some of the Yankee players, the guys, the Damons, the Swishers, Jeter, guys that are high on base guys. Some of that has to do when you got a hitter like Teixeira, who's such a dangerous hitter. But for a guy like Bonifacio, if he could just get to where Juan Pierre was, when Pierre was getting 200 hits, and it doesn't have to be by hits, it just has to be by a combination of walks or hits, and get his on-base percentage up in the 300s, 330, 340, then all of a sudden he's a weapon.
And he's a valuable player then.
And he's aboard. It's the 6th inning. Time for the Coors Light Freeze Can. What shall we freeze tonight? How about Angel Baroa's throw a little high? Freeze it. Who's going to win the race? High foot.
Great camera work. That's outstanding.
Frostbrewed Coors Light Freeze Can.
First walk of the night for A.J. Burnett.
All right, now that Bonifacio is aboard and Hanley is up, let's see if he's running against Burnett. Posada threw out Hanley back in the 1st, trying to steal.
Not sure what that was. That might have been a little miscommunication. It looked like Burnett threw a pitch out, but Posada never got up out of his crouch to move out to receive a pitch out. So the two of them discussed that, so that's maybe what happened. But it looked like Burnett threw a pitch out. And Girardi showing some concerns as to what happened on that last pitch.
Posada has thrown out 23% of the would-be base stealers.
All right, look it over.
Yankees have a young catcher on their roster, Francisco Cervelli, who has thrown out 37%.
But they do have one of those Molinas. He's on the disabled list.
And you know, everybody should have a Molina.
Notice how Bonifacio, we were talking about Hanley, how he doesn't like the dive back. Bonifacio gets a pretty good lead. He steps it off pretty well. And because of that, he makes that dive back to the bag.
You know, Tommy, come to think of it, the Marlins may have set some sort of Molina record here, because as you look at Hanley's average against righties, the last 3 teams to play the Marlins in this stadium have had a Molina on their roster.
That's right. The Giants and the Cardinals.
And now the Yankees.
Have
there ever been back-to-back Molinas in baseball before? I'm not sure. Bonifacio not running, and the pitch is outside.
There's been a few times that Josh Johnson has missed closely like that and not gotten the pitch. I think A.J. wanted that one. It was a pretty good pitch.
I think Jeff Kellogg's worked a pretty good game.
They've been the same, both sides.
Unless the Orioles activate the father of the Molinas, that streak is going to come to a close. They've got Matt Wieters, so.
And they're happy to have him.
Yes. There goes Bonifacio. Posada's throw. He's out. Well, Bonifacio didn't think so. I didn't think so. But
90% of the time when the runner gets tagged on the behind, that means his hand's on the bag. But he got him.
He's out. Great call by Rob Drake.
He was right there. He's closer than we are. And he got him.
Yeah, that's one of those where in the naked eye, once you get another look at it. Actually, it was Mark Wegner who made the call out of second.
So Posada reminding Yankee fans of Thurman Munson. He's made a couple of terrific throws tonight, getting Ramirez and Bonifacio.
And it's 3-1 to Hanley, who takes outside. And our count was off. So it's 3-2.
And again, it just explains to you about the speed of Bonifacio. We know he has blazing speed, but it tells you that it takes more to steal bases. From first to third, is he fast? Absolutely. Getting up the line, is he quick? Yes. But stealing bases, he hasn't learned that art yet. And to me, the discouraging thing, we talked about it a couple of weeks ago, the fact that he played 2 years in the minor leagues coming up in the Arizona organization with Brett Butler as his manager.
Who was a great bunter and a great base stealer.
So you wonder if he ever will learn that.
A.J. Burnett has walked a pair to open up the sixth. Cantu doubled last night, 0 for 2 in this one. Marlins have 4 hits, Yankees have just 1. Oh, 2.
Yeah, Barolo, the third baseman, way off the line, so they're bunching Cantu up the middle, not expecting him to pull a ball. There's a whole lot of room down in that area.
Cantu has seen 2 curveballs here, which makes that rising fastball a little tougher to catch up to.
I'll tell you what, he leaves one of those curveballs in that area. That's a pitch that Jorge can pull up that third baseline, and Barolo won't get to it if he does.
Normally, as a third baseman, your shortstop will tell you if an off-speed pitch is coming.
Same thing, second baseman will alert the first baseman, especially if you have a left-handed hitter up for the first baseman.
Cantu does pull it to left field. Damon drops the ball, and he gets by him. Off to the races is Hanley. To third. They will send him. Here comes Hanley. He scores.
It was a ball that was one of those knuckling type line drives. It was sinking, it was knuckling. Damon was there. It looked like he was going to make the catch. Good adjustment by Cantu on the fastball. Damon reaches out, got leather on it, but missed it. I would say it'll probably be an error, but it allowed Hanley Ramirez to score all the way from first. Remember the ball that Cantu hit in center field at Fenway Park that Ellsbury misplayed, his first error of his career.
Very similar, only this one is ruled a hit.
Nice going. You know I like hitters to get hits.
Here's Uggla. So a 2-0 ball game. You know, at first glance, you think maybe Damon lost it in the lights. Uggla, a little number.
And we have seen that happen to left fielders in this ballpark.
Yeah, because it's a stadium that is built for football. The lights here are very different from most baseball stadiums. But in watching his eyes,
yeah, he doesn't lose in the lights.
He just flat out missed it.
Yeah. We used to see every once in a while Josh Willingham would lose a ball, but you could tell by his reaction.
Nice to see that Hammer has rejoined the Nationals after being on the bereavement list for a week. And our thoughts and prayers to the Willingham family. Josh lost his brother last week. Hermida takes outside.
See how they pitch Jeremy Hermida. First base is open, but Cody Ross is on deck. He's actually had better swings tonight against A.J. Burnett than Jeremy has. But the 2 walks to get this inning going have been the downfall for A.J. Burnett so far.
Cody waits. 2-0 to Hermida. Second year as the Yankees skipper. Last year 89 wins. But that wasn't good enough in the East. Last year Tampa Bay won 97 games. Boston won 95.
And Joe Girardi, just 44 years old, a solid major league career, 4 of those years as a member of the Yankees and seeing the World Series and being a champion on that end.
I'm not sure what he threw. That was a changeup?
Yeah, I think he just didn't want to throw to him. Here comes Dave Island, the pitching coach for the Yankees. But you get to the point, if you're going to do that, it's just throw an intentional ball and get it over with. But it looked like he threw a changeup.
So for A.J. Burnett, no walks in the game until he gets to the 6th inning.
And Phil Hughes starts to get loose.
On Tuesday night, it's the 4th annual Fox Sports Florida Fantasy Auction. And for just $50, you can join us and be part of the action. $50 gets you a ticket to the game, a seat with us out in right field, an all-you-can-eat buffet dinner, a shirt, a goodie bag, and we will put you on camera, just like those 2 knuckleheads. 1-877-MARLINS is the number to call, or you can buy tickets online at marlins.com/fantasy. And we hope to see you either out with us on Tuesday night or in your living room on Tuesday night.
Always a big night for Bobby and Gordy, too.
Yes, Bobby and Gordy in charge of decorating the set, which will be
enhancements.
A Tommy Bahama theme this year. Frost takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Tommy Bahama, our sponsor of the fantasy auction. Breaking ball misses inside. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. A.J. Burnett was sailing along. A Dan Uggla home run, the only blemish on his night. Until he got here to the 6th. Walked Bonifacio, who was thrown out trying to steal. Walked Hanley. Cantu hit the liner that Damon misplayed into a double. And that scored Ramirez. Check swing, little roller to Shera, flips, and Burnett is there. Marlins tack on a run. To the 7th we go. Josh Johnson comes back out, and now it's 2-0. Run lead has given up just the 1 hit. Now it's 2. A.J. Burnett. You see his line. 11 ground ball outs complement his 6 innings and 4 strikeouts.
Yeah, Burnett had to throw 24 pitches that last inning.
Johnny Damon, Mark Teixeira, Jorge Posada. So a tough spot in the Yankee order. Damon has walked and bounced out.
Yeah, these are 3 tough outs coming up here in this 7th inning. Damon, Teixeira, and then Posada.
Right back to JJ. One of them's out of the way. That's 12 ground ball outs. We check in with Craig.
Guys, tomorrow is Father's Day, and here after the ball game, if you come to the game, you can actually have a catch with your father on the field here after the game. It's a pleasure to tell you my father, 88 years strong, is right over here. And we started watching when I was about 5 years old. How about you, Dad?
Yeah, I watched shortly after that, but I was a Giant fan and lived in Brooklyn, so you can imagine the problems I went through. Well, Pee Wee Reese against Buddy Kerr, the shortstops. That was the big arguments there. But we having a whole our own. The Dodgers were nowhere, and the Giants were the big team in New York at that time, along with the Yankees, of course.
We're talking late 20s then.
Late 20s, the late 20s. That's it. Ebbets Field and the Polo Grounds. That's where the big places were.
Why is baseball the ultimate father and son sport, do you think?
Because we can get together much easily on a ball field out in the backyard and throw the ball around. And in fact, I taught Craig how to hit lefty because he was going to hit righty. I said, if you ever become a baseball player, you hit lefty, you got to step in it because I don't know how fast you're going to be when you get older.
I got his speed too. Say hi, Spencer. Hi. It's my daughter, Spencer, guys. Father's Day is not like it for this sport. Wes Helms and his son we featured earlier in the week, and you get to enjoy it tomorrow right here at the ballpark, guys.
Yeah, and it's a great day throughout Major League Baseball as we continue to raise money for prostate cancer research as well. A home run challenge. One home run tonight. Dan Uggla adding another 18,000, and Josh Johnson walks Mark Teixeira.
Just the second walk for JJ. He walked Damon back in the first inning. I think we could all remember playing catch with our dads.
Jorge Posada standing in. Your father played catch with you in Pasadena, right?
Growing up, used to throw some batting practice to me at a little park that wasn't far from our house.
And you went to the same high school as my father.
That's amazing. Yeah.
My dad grew up in Pasadena as well. Pitched at Pasadena City College and then at the University of California. JJ throws that fastball right down the middle to Posada.
What if he can make a pitch here? Posada does not run well. He's gotten so many ground balls. If he can get a ground ball here, he can get a double play and get out of the inning.
0-2 coming. There's the ground ball. But no double play. Uggla can't turn it.
You know, there was a little disjointedness about that once it got to Hanley. Hanley didn't field it crisply, and that's where it all started. It was a double play in the making. There was a little bobble. So the timing was off, and then Dan Uggla didn't get squared with his body and didn't make a good throw to first base. But the double play was there for the making.
Still a turn that Uggla will tell you he should have made. Well, he didn't touch first. Did you see Posada stumble by the bag there?
Yeah, Dan had plenty of time. He just didn't get turned around and get squared up to first base.
Right there. That's what I'm talking.
Robinson Cano stands in. They have changed the scoring on the Cantu fly ball to an E7. Cantu trying to will that one fair. Poor Jorge. I mean, he hits that sinking liner that was misplayed in Boston. And that, of course, was Ellsbury's first error. Then he hits another liner that Damon misplays. He's given the double, and then it's taken away.
I think the one to Damon was a lot more catchable than the one to Ellsbury.
I'd agree. One and two to Robinson Cano.
I remember JJ coming off that complete game, 119 pitches in Toronto last time out.
Up the middle, into center field, the base hit. Posada is going to turn and head to third, and he'll get there. And so the Yankees have their second hit. Runners at the corners, and it's Swisher who's up.
Well, the tough part about all of this is coming after a double play that should have been turned. And it's extending Josh Johnson, making him throw more pitches. Good base running by Jorge Posada to take that turn, get himself to third base.
Marlin bullpen is not stirred. But with Johnson approaching 100 pitches and a 2-0 lead, Leo Nunez gets a call to arms. Switcher goes after a breaking ball. Baker smothers it. is up with Nunez. One and one. 1 for 7 in this series is Swisher. He can be a tough out. He can work the count. No swing.
Whoa, we've seen that one called tonight. Not that time, though. Twice. Coghlan didn't swing half that much.
On either side, that's been called. Now the count evens at 2-2. Yankees, the best come from behind team in baseball.
Interesting, too, they have another stat in their notes. They're 11-6 when facing a pitcher for the first time. Obviously, facing JJ for the first time.
22 of their 38 wins are come from behind wins. Yankee fans, Marlin fans on their feet. $46,427. Base hit, right field. It's not an error, but the missed double play costs the Marlins dearly.
Absolutely. You had plenty of time on that double play. Posada going up the line, and not a good throw by Daniel Uggla. And it's extended Josh Johnson. The inning would have been over 5 minutes ago. But the base hit by Cano and this base hit by Swisher, and all of a sudden it's a one-run game again. And I'll tell you another thing it's going to affect in this game. That's how this one play affects a lot. When the Marlins bat in the bottom half, Josh Johnson's the second hitter. Had he gotten out of that inning with the double play, he probably would have hit and given Freddie one more inning. But now, Freddie will probably hit for him because he's really had to work here in this inning. And that pitch count is getting up. He's at 100 right now. 21 pitches in this inning.
Well, right now, Josh Johnson is just trying to get to the 8th inning. Trying to finish the 7th. A strike to Melky Cabrera.
Obviously, this is not a walk-off situation, but here's a guy who's hit a whole bunch of walk-off home runs and hits this year already for the Yankees.
Yeah, the Yankees have already 7 walk-off wins. Oh, and 2. Joe Girardi's ball club with 22 of the come from behind variety. Got him. Fastball. 98 miles an hour. Josh Johnson stalks off the mound. after the Yankees get their first run of the night. On Tuesday night, we told you about the fantasy auction on Tuesday night. Well, you can come on out and join us on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. All three games at 7:10. 1-877 Marlins, the number to call.
Well, you know what, Rich? It's a team game. Guys understand. Uggs feels bad. 12 extra pitches J.J. had to throw, and he is done, and Freddie will send a pinch hitter up there for him here in the bottom half.
Baker, J.J. spot, and then Coughlin. A.J. Burnett is still in there, though he's approaching 100 pitches. He's at 96. And Baker cranks one into right field, a base hit. And your point, of course, is not only pitch count, but also score in game situation. If it's 2-0, you'd be probably inclined to send Johnson up there to bunt right now.
Well, absolutely. If it were 2-0 and he didn't have to throw those extra 12 pitches, he'd still be in the 90s with the pitches, and he wouldn't have had the stress that he had in making those other 12 pitches. Gave up the base hit to Cano, and Swisher got the big base hit, and he really had to hump up to strike out Cabrera.
So here's De Aza, and we'll see if possibly De Aza will play the role of bunter.
Oh yeah, he will.
He squares and drops down a gorgeous one. Burnett bobbles, and out at first is De Aza. Baker is now at second.
Nicely done by Alejandro De Aza. You sit around and all of a sudden you're called on to put down a sac bunt in a tough situation.
You know what? If he had run that out, he beats it out.
Wasn't going hard in the bobble by A.J. He just barely got him.
Joe Girardi wants the baseball from A.J. Burnett. Burnett pitched very well tonight, but the Marlins lead at 2-1. Here's Armaruti, call to the bullpen.
When you need a car, truck or van, who you gonna call?
with a runner at second. His team down 2-1. And he gives way to lefty Phil Koch.
Well, you look at opposing batters hitting 195. The reports on this guy, heavy, sneaky, and quick. And then a big slur for his breaking ball, but he can be tough on lefties.
There's the breaking ball, and it's 1-0. Coughlin 0 for 3. It's Baker who's at second. One and one. Tony Pena, the bench coach for Joe Girardi.
It would be nice to pick that run back up and answer. A couple of pretty good catchers in that Yankee dugout between Joe Girardi and Tony Pena.
Phil Hughes.
Looking over the charts, trying to get the matchups. He's missed with a couple of breaking balls, but each time he's thrown the fastball, it's been a borderline strike, and Coughlin has taken it.
Oh, gorgeous pitch. Down goes Coughlin.
Tough to bat right there. He saw a couple of hittable fastballs and then an unhittable breaking ball just on the outside corner.
Dave Highland is out there. And it's going to flip Bonifacio over to the right side. As we told you earlier in the night, he's a better hitter from this side, substantially. 325 from this side of the plate. From the left side of the plate, he's close to 200. And he definitely will get something to hit because Hanley's on deck.
Well, if it gets to Hanley, it won't be Phil Koch pitching to him. It'll be Phil Hughes. Got a little bit of a hanger.
1-1. Josh Johnson and A.J. Burnett both out of this game now. Burnett removed here in this inning, as was Johnson for a pinch hitter. Alex Rodriguez available to pinch hit. Marlins have a well-stocked bench as well.
That's a pretty nice secret weapon to have.
Not so secret is his world, is it?
Well, you know what? Sometimes a lot of that's brought on by himself.
2-2.
JJ can only sit and watch now.
That's Baker, a leadoff single. Aparicio drives this one to center. Cabrera goes back, and Melky makes the catch. And the Marlins leave that run out at second base. So the bullpen's going to have to bring it home. It's a 2-1 game. Intervening.
Well, that's guys with Josh Johnson. A terrific effort here tonight. How you feel? 2-1 lead as you go to the 8th inning.
Good. Got as deep as possible as I could, and threw a lot of pitches. But it's we're winning, so it's always good.
Looks like you had great movement. You had him off balance. Your fastball. Were you happy with?
Fastball, not really. One of the first times I wasn't really happy with my fastball today, but it was there when I needed it in the 7th inning, and then my slider was good, so it was kind of complimented that.
You mean from a command standpoint or a velocity standpoint?
Command. I don't care what my velocity is, if it's 90 or if it's 98, it doesn't matter. As long as I'm throwing in the zone, and early on it was all over the place, but later on it came back.
Last strikeout with Cabrera.
Yeah, I needed that. So.
Thanks, Josh.
Yeah.
Right. Josh Johnson, guys, back to you.
And Josh turns it over to the bullpen. First out, Leo Nunez. The 8th inning belongs to Leo.
And he's going to have a couple of toughies to face. Hideki Matsui leading things off to pinch hit for Baroa. And on deck, looks like A-Rod's getting ready.
Joe Girardi comes out. He may be asking about the changes that the Marlins have made with De Aza out in left.
De Aza stays in the game in the number 9 spot. Nunez comes into Coughlin's spot, number 1 in the lineup.
Nunez misses outside, and Matsui certainly with the strength and the ability to run into one and knock it out of the park. You can see 10 homers this year. His left knee gave him so many problems last year. He had just 9. There's Alex on deck. Matsui into right field. Time for the Stay in the Game hold of the day, brought to you by Just for Men Hair Color. All-time holds against the American League East. Buddy Groom atop that list. Just as middle relievers keep their team in the game, you too can stay in the game with Just for Men Hair Color, and the crowd on their feet.
It just goes to show you that people forgive the accusations that A-Rod admitted to. It's all in the past. By the way, he's 0 for 8 in his career as a pinch hitter, something he hasn't done a whole lot of.
That's amazing. And that in his career, he has pinch hit so few times.
Just 8 times, yeah.
I was going to tongue-in-cheek ask you if you think he'll bunt.
He had to be alive, that guy at first.
Whoa!
Pinch runner Brett Gardner has terrific speed.
And Gardner just gets back.
Gardner on the year leading the Yankees with 14 stolen bases.
And that's been an issue with the Fish. They've given up more stolen bases than anybody in baseball. Gardner is running. Baker's throw.
Most of the base stealers are running on the Marlins pitchers. Gardner was halfway to second base. High leg kick. Really didn't give Bake a chance, and a good play by Uggla to catch the ball and keep it from going into center field.
One 1-0 to Alex Rodriguez.
Overthrowing right now is Leo Nunez. And tongue-in-cheek, I'll tell you, Rich, the last sacrifice bunt for A-Rod was in 1999.
So only 8 times a pinch hitter. The 9th time in his career. He gets a 2-0 from Nunez. And it's at the knees for a strike. Dan Meyer ready if needed. And he might be. Jeter next, then Damon. And he might be needed sooner if Nunez doesn't start throwing strikes.
A-Rod can take them. They have to be right down the middle of these strikes. That was a pretty good pitch. And so far tonight, Jeff Kellogg's had a pretty good night. Where's that? Belt high. Good pitch.
Well, it's not high. He must have thought it was inside. Mark Wadley's out. Now the Yankees have runners at first and second. You've got Jeter up there who can do a lot of things at the plate. Tommy made the point when it happened. The inability to turn the double play in the 7th cost the Marlins not only a run, but it extended Josh Johnson and sort of sealed his fate as he was removed for a pinch hitter in the bottom of the 7th.
Had he not had to throw those extra 12 pitches, more than likely would have come out and started this 8th inning.
All right, let's see what the Yankees have cooked up. Andy Fox trying to get everyone's attention right now. The Marlins are not set up for a bunt. And I think that's what the dugout is trying to impart on the infield is be alive for anything, really.
You can't really cheat and play in for a bunt because Jeter might not bunt.
Yeah, but Cantu was deep at first, and now he's shortened up. Bonifacio's even at third. He squares, but Nunez misses the plate.
Jeter does have 1 sack this year. I mean, Joe Girardi has a lot of options here. I mean, you can't rule out a hit and run in this situation. But I don't think he would do that because you have to have a pitcher a little more around the plate than Nunez has shown.
There they go. Runners on the move, and it's fouled at the plate.
He did have it on. So he took a chance on a 1-0 pitch, sent Brett Gardner and A-Rod, and Jeter fouled it off.
You can see the flashbulbs bursting. The reflection off of Jeter's helmet. Let's see what 1-1 brings. With runners in scoring position, he's always been good. One and two.
Well, after the failed hit and run, you already put the bunt on again, and Jeter fouled it off. Now they'll be swinging.
Great speed with Gardner. A-Rod's at first. He's not at 100%.
This is where if you're John Baker and both runners take off, you think possibly of throwing to second, not to third.
Two-one game. Rob Thompson, third base coach. One-two. Ground ball up the middle. Ugla got one there. Got two there.
Right, that couldn't have been hit in a more perfect spot by Derek Jeter. Up the middle, Ugla at the bag to field it, and all he has to do is step on the bag and make the turn. This time he makes a perfect throw to first base. Two huge outs.
And so Nunez gets the double play. Damon's due up. Myers coming in. Armaruni called to the bullpen.
When you need a car, truck or van.
2 outs. Our Toyota trend. The Marlins are the only National League team with winning records at home and on the road in interleague play. Freddie Gonzalez pacing. You don't see this too often. While the Marlins made that pitching change, Alex Rodriguez hopped out of the dugout and was playing catch in front of the dugout.
Yeah, he got in front of the dugout, wanted to get his arm loose after getting erased in that double play, because he's going to stay in the game and play defense.
Johnny Damon and Dan Meyer and Brett Gardner all converging here in the 8th with 2 outs. And if Meyer doesn't get Damon, if he were to walk him, he would face Teixeira, the switch hitter. No one's warming in the Marlins pen.
Damon has been a guy in his career very consistent. Coming into this season, 284 against lefties, 291 against righties. This is the guy that Meyer wants to get, because we talked about it last night. Teixeira, a 370 hitter against left-handed pitching. Teixeira, switch hitter.
Two-one. 2-2. Freddie Gonzalez last night had Matt Lindstrom work an inning. So if they can deliver this to the 9th, Lindstrom should be ready to go. $46,427 on hand. Strikes out Johnny Damon. Nunez and Meyer hold the lead. The Marlins go to the bottom of the 8th with a 2-1 lead. Join the club by Quick Creek for affordable home improvement projects. Visit quickcreek.com. Quick Creek, It's what America is made of. South Florida tonight, the place to be, Land Shark Stadium. Over 46,000 here for the Yankees and the Marlins in a 2-1 game in the bottom of the 8th. Phil Hughes comes out of the Yankee bullpen. Alex Rodriguez stays in the game. He's at third.
Well, get a look at the 22-year-old Phil Hughes. In a few days, he'll turn 23, but he's a guy that they're trying to figure out, starter or reliever. He has started 7 times this year. Did not fare well last year in a handful of starts, but now with a good fastball and a curveball and a changeup, he works out of the bullpen.
Hanley sends the first pitch skyward to right. Swisher got a late break, but makes the catch. So 1 out. Cantu coming up. Lindstrom warming up.
Well, what excitement tonight, Rich. This is the place to be.
Now, Cantu did not get a hit on this, but it was a big moment.
That breaking ball, the curveball hung inside. He adjusted to it. Damon could not make the adjustment and make the catch. And he was charged with the error.
Hughes misses outside. So no RBI. But the difference in the game. The Phillies bullpen trying to hold the lead right now, just like Freddie's bullpen is going to have to do it in the 9th. The Orioles have a run in the 9th. It's 5-4 Philadelphia.
Tell you what, Josh Beckett must have pitched a nifty game in Boston tonight. The Red Sox beat the Braves 3-0.
Down goes Cantu.
Good live fastball from Hughes.
Our Prestige Audi moment of the night brought to you by Prestige Audi, just 2 minutes south of Aventura Mall, 1-866-7-MY-AUDI. Dan Uggla, the straightaway center. Uggla's homer in the 2nd was the only earned run that A.J. Burnett gave up.
The Marlins have still gotten themselves in that predicament. Remember the series in Boston, not hitting with runners in scoring position. In the first 2 games of this series against the Yankees, the Marlins are 0 for 11 with runners in scoring position. Of course, the home run by Uggla and then the error with the other run.
By the way, that Boston win, it was Josh Beckett's first shutout since joining the Red Sox.
So he went the distance.
And of course, it was his shutout in Game 6 of the 2003 World Series that has been such a focus around these last 2 nights.
It kind of connects these 2 teams, certainly. There's the celebratory Josh Beckett.
He threw just 94 pitches. The game took 2 hours, 11 minutes. Uggla rolls it wide of third. Yankees are hoping that Hughes is the guy that can lock down the 8th inning for them and deliver games to their Hall of Fame closer, Mariano Rivera. Bring on the Yankees. Bring on Matt Lindstrom. Biggest crowd in some time. Over 46,000 here. Our Home Depot doing more with defense. An important moment for the Marlins. The Yankees with runners at first and second and nobody out in the 8th. And Derek Jeter rolls to Dan Ogler, who gets the double play.
And the Marlins, Rich, in this series have turned 5 double plays. There's Brett Carroll, who comes in to play right field. So Jeremy Hermita's out. De Aza, he's in left field. He's been there for a couple of innings. And, of course, Cody Ross in center.
Teixeira against Lindstrom. As we've seen with Lindstrom, when he doesn't get work, he's not effective. Knowing that, the Marlins 3 nights ago had him work a side session in the bullpen in Boston. And then he came in last night and worked a scoreless inning. Teixeira off the bag, and it hops into right field. Carroll up with the ball, and Teixeira stops. That is why Brett Carroll's in the game.
This is probably good news that it hit the bag. If it had gone over the bag, it wouldn't have slowed up and may have gotten into that right field corner because the ball was stunned. Quickly getting to it, Brett Carroll. And a big turn at first base by Teixeira.
Now it's Posada. Then Cano. Then Swisher. Strike 1. 0 for 3 is Posada. 2 for 7 in this series.
Some serious gas there. And in a good location. We talked about it the other night, trying to tie up Posada in under the hands.
The Phillies bullpen has coughed up that lead. Baltimore leads 6-5 in the ninth. 0-2. In the air. Hanley sees it and makes the catch. So an out. Now it's Cano.
Sometimes a moment like this, if Matt Lindstrom closes this game out, this could be a real turning point in his season. Because he's had some ups and downs. He hasn't had a whole lot of pressure-filled situations. If he can close this game out, this could be a big turning point for him.
This is about as pressure-filled as it gets.
Yeah, you got that right. A lot of nail biting going on.
Ground ball. Might be two. Got one there. Got two there. Ball game. Gotta be sweet for Dan Uggla. The inability to turn the double play hurt the Fish, and Ugla's in the middle of two key double plays.